Hi. Greetings from Wisdom Lord Raphael. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon and don't miss any contents. This is the light novel of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you haven't watched previous video, I will leave the link on the description box, or you can click here. Let's start. This is Tensura Light Novel Volume 16. Tensura Light Novel. Volume 16. The End of the Game. Chapter 2. Interviews. Executive's Evolutionary Status. Part 3. It was now time to work. Although I had played with Ranga all night without sleeping, I was in perfect shape. The first to arrive was Kumara. Her first word spoken to me after the greeting was, "I heard Ranga-sama boast that Rimuru-sama could modify our skills. I'd love for you to give me new powers too." Kumara, dressed as a little girl, adorably made a request. Ranga acquired his abilities on his own, but he seemed have exaggerated the help he received. Actually, I think he should have praised himself, but for some reason, Ranga emphasized and bragged about receiving help from me. To be precise, it wasn't me, but CL, but that was a secret, so I nodded ambiguously. Now then, what should I do? Let's do it. I knew you would say that. I was worried about leaving the rest to CL, who had no intention at all of feeling sorry for itself. But I guess we should take all the countermeasures we possibly can, since we have enemies. Alright. Well, it's mostly up to you, but I'll see what I can do. Even for CL, what cannot be done cannot be helped. If Kumara did not have the right aptitude, she would not be able to receive a gift. After obtaining her approval, I left it all to CL. Name, Kumara. Existence points, 1,899,944. Race, 9 tails. Greater Chaos Spirit, Earth Spirit Beast. Blessing, Rimuru's Blessing. Title, Chimera Lord. Magic, Earth Spirit Magic. Skill. Ultimate Gift. Beast King Bahamut. Intrinsic Skill. Beast Domination. Beast Unification. Resistance. Physical Attack Nullification. Abnormal Condition Nullification. Natural Effects Resistance. Mental Attack Resistance. Holy Demonic Attack Resistance. It took a while, but it seemed to have worked. Kumara acquired the ultimate gift. Beast King Bahamut. Which included the following 6 powers. Thought Acceleration. Universal Perception. Demon Lord Hockey. Gravity Domination. Spatial Domination. And Multi-Layer Barrier. She could even interfere with planets, seemingly able to manipulate the gravity of a wide area. As for Kumara herself, her race had also changed. From the 9 heads to the 9 tails. It may seem that a change from heads to tails was a weakness, but that was not the case. She used to have 8 magic beasts, but now she had only 1 head. In other words, Kumara could achieve complete control over all of them by her own consciousness. As it was before, the will of the magic beasts resided in 8 of Kumara's 9 tails. Therefore, it was possible to leave them to their free will as subordinates. In that case, 8 magic beasts with an existence value of about 200,000 would be separated from Kumara. Even so, the existence value of Kumara would remain over 1,000,000. This was not a miscalculation, but rather a fact. The existence value of her subordinates would a multiple value of the separated value, which meant that they had been strengthened tremendously. Although she was not a divine race, she possessed existence value of nearly 2,000,000 without relying on armor, so it was likely that she would soon evolve. Like Geld, she also had an earth attribute. Since she was an earth spirit beast, a semi-spiritual life form, she was very compatible with gravity manipulation. The current Kumara, with all of her magic beasts integrated, could be ranked highly amongst the 12 guardian lords in terms of specs alone. Unfortunately, she was still inexperienced. If they fought, she would still lose to Saui, and the only one she had chance to win against currently would be Adalman and Gabel. That said, there were some scary things in store for Kumara, as she had a lot of potential. She was still a young girl, and her future growth was something to look forward to. Appeto and Zijan were the next to arrive. Leaving Zijan in the hallway first, only Appeto entered the room. It would have been fine if they were both here at the same time, but in the name of a private interview, I decided to respect Zijan's wishes. As soon as we sat down facing each other on the chairs, Appeto gently handed me a package. "Rimuru-sama, this is the honey that was just collected." "Oh, thank you." I was so happy, my cheeks relaxed. This honey can be used as a panacea and is amazingly delicious. It was a well-known story amongst my subordinates that I had used this to tame Milim with a single blow. That's why it was a very popular product. Laughing, I put the package away in my pocket. I am not a man who would give in to bribes, but I decided to be nice to Appeto. Appeto's current status was as follows. Name, Appeto. Existence points, 775,537. Race, Star Wasp. Fair Chaos Spirit, Wind Spirit Wasp. Blessing, Zijan's Blessing. Title, Insect Queen. Skill, Unique Skill. Queen Worship. Resistance, Pain Nullification, Physical Attack Resistance, Natural Effects Resistance, Abnormal Condition Resistance, Mental Attack Resistance. It would be impossible for an ordinary adventurer to defeat her. Appeto's strength had already surpassed that of the former demon lords. Although she was not as strong as the special S ranks defined by our country, she seemed to be stronger than the pseudo-awakened claimant. Moreover, according to Appeto, her queen worship skill had created 9 insector magians. They were still chrysalises, but it seems that they would be quite powerful magians once they were born. In that case, we should celebrate. I'm so happy. I beseech you to give them a name. A name, that's right. Yeah. I tried to avoid answering directly and wanted to change the subject. Naming is dangerous, so. No problem. I have mastered the art of total control, so there will be no danger. Mastered it. That's right, it's the same as what you did with cherries back then. I guess I have no choice. I was hoping to avoid having to come up with 9 names, but Raichi, Rinai, Risan, Rion, Rigo, Riroku, Rinana, Rihachi, Rikaiwu. How is that? Although it was just a combination of number variations, I still hope she'll be okay with it. I don't even know if the magians will be male or female, so I'll just assign them something appropriate like that once they're born. Oh my. I can feel Rimuru-sama's loving kindness, and my children are so happy to feel it as well. Oh, you can sense that too. Of course. The hearts of my children are unbreakably connected to mine. The children created by her skill can be given orders through Mega's control, and the speed of transmission is instantaneous. Also, unlike with telepathy net where the exchange is mutual, the order of priority is made clear. This made sense to me, but let's leave that alone for now. CL has been annoying me since a while ago. I don't understand. I am just asking for permission to use skill alteration. That's what it said. CL seems to be eager to play with Appeto's skills. In fact, CL could actually force Appeto to do it, even I didn't give it permission because I had superior authority over the people I was connected to via the soul corridor. But this was currently a time of peace, and there was no longer an emergency. It didn't want to do anything without my permission. What's more, Appeto was of Zijan's lineage, so from my point of view, she was a secondary family member. Since the connection between us was a little weaker, it would be easier to do it if I asked for permission. Thinking it was too late, I asked Appeto. By the way, if you don't mind, I'd like to help you with the direction of your power. What do you think? What do you mean? Your skill seems to have 2 evolutionary possibilities. You can either be the commander type who is served by her subordinates as the ruler of insect demons like you are now, or you could become the hero type who leads her subordinates in battle herself. The difference is simple: the commander type retains the ability to create insect demons, but the hero type loses that ability. Instead, the hero type's physical abilities will be strengthened and their skills will be enhanced to be more suitable for combat. I directly conveyed what CL had said. At the same time, I realized that CL didn't go through with this because of the 2 possibilities. The choice was up to Appeto. Otherwise, the true power of skill would not be realized. Of course, you can also choose not to change anything. After hearing what I had to say, Appeto asked me back without pausing. If I choose the hero type, does that mean I will be unable to have children? What did she mean? Although the unique skill queen worship will lose its power of birth of a dependent insect demon birth, the ability to reproduce without relying on the skill will remain, so doing so will not affect the natural conception of a successor. It's just that you will be unable to create dependents through your skill. It won't affect the natural birth of children. I see. In that case, there is no problem at all. My children already have the skill birth of a dependent, so they will be able to produce an army exactly as I want them to as the queen. Really? So Appeto had already handed over a part of her power to her dependents. So then, Appeto's answer was, I would like to take the lead myself. Appeto declared as such, just as I thought she would. As soon as that happened, CL immediately sprang into action, as if it had been waiting all day for it. Appeto's skill alteration has been successfully completed. Unique skill Queen Worship has evolved into the ultimate gift. Queen Possession Proserpina. It really only took a moment. Perhaps it was because it had already been analyzed earlier, but not even a second had passed. It's done. You can check on it later to practice using it. Ultimate Gift Queen Possession, Proserpina, is a skill that seems to have been selected and enhanced from the original Queen Worship. It included Thought Acceleration, Magic Perception, Ultra Intuition, Insect Domination, Military Command, ultra speed, lethal attack, spatial manipulation, and multi-layer barrier. It was just an enhancement of her original power, so it wouldn't be out of place for Appeto to use. I'm sure she would practice it without me telling her, but that's what I advised her to do. I am thankful for the unparalleled good fortune. With supreme joy, allow me to pledge my allegiance to Rimuru-sama once again. With that, Appeto knelt to the floor. I nodded grandly and finished my interview with Appeto. Zijan came in next, replacing Appeto. Instead of sitting on the couch, Zijan politely sat on a wooden chair. It was obvious that he was already the strongest in the labyrinth, but he was still so thoughtful. He seemed to be trying to avoid damaging the leather of the couch with his exoskeleton, and I thought it was very meticulous. That aside, Zijan's performance had been magnificent. Zijan was already a high-spec existence, and even before his awakening, he had been on a par with Diablo. Compared to the other 12 Guardian Lords, there was a clear gap in strength, and now he seemed to have become even stronger. Looking at his battle records, archives, it seemed that he had kicked Dino's ass, while still hiding his strength. What a terrifying child. Honestly, it's a good thing that this guy is on our side. Zijan, you've done very well this time. If you hadn't woken up in time, I don't know what would have happened. You're flattering me. Even the timing of my awakening was all according to Rimuru-sama's calculations, wasn't it? No, of course not. No. I knew Dino was suspicious, but I didn't expect him to make a move at the most inopportune time. Ho, so that's why. It was in anticipation of that situation that I woke up. I told you, I didn't know that would happen. Speaking of which, I didn't even know that Valgrind existed. No, that's not true, I did know, but I just didn't think she'd come straight over here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have run off with my executives to negotiate with the Emperor face to face. I was completely lacking in strategy this whole war, and we were lucky to have survived. And yet, Zijan seemed to want to give me credit for everything, no matter how I explained it. I gave up early. Anyway, I'm grateful you were there. No, I'm really not much. Even if I wasn't there, Rimuru-sama could have killed Dino with a blow that transcended time and space, right? I was merely responding to the opportunity you gave me to play an active role. What the hell are you talking about? A blow that transcends time and space. I can't do that. What kind of monster am I in this guy's mind? Yeah. Right. Maybe I could. Ha. It would be easy for Rimuru-sama. Zijan enthusiastically affirmed my powerless agreement. This was beyond the level of deep respect, and I felt like he was looking at me with a gaze that seemed to give reverence to a god. Although, Zijan has compound eyes, so it was all just my imagination. I regained my composure and continued my interview with Zijan. I heard from Zijan himself about his thoughts on the battle with Dino. I had thought that Dino successfully managed to escape, but that was apparently not the case. Rather, Zijan said that he had carved a curse in Dino in anticipation of his escape. It was a terrible thing that controlled the bearer's life and death. To even be able to do something like that, just how far had Zijan evolved? Name: Zijan. Existence points: 4,988,856. Race: Divine Insect. Greater Chaos Spirit, Water Spirit Insect. Blessing: Rimuru's Blessing. Title: Mist Lord. Magic: Water Spirit Magic. Skill: Ultimate Skill. Illusion King Mephisto. Resistance: Physical Attack Nullification. Abnormal Condition Nullification. Mental Attack Nullification. Natural Effects Nullification. Holy Demonic Attack Resistance. Phew. I almost made a strange noise. The values that CL reported far exceeded my expectations. Zijan also seemed to be a divine race, but that was to be expected. His existence value was just under 5 million, the second highest after Benimaru. His attribute is water, but according to CL, he also has spatial attributes. As a semi-spiritual life form, he has excellent resistances. Not only does he not have weaknesses, but his skill level is also perfect. He was undoubtedly powerful. Zijan seems to be able to condense the water molecules in the atmosphere to construct a temporary body. The magic steel that I gave him had already evolved into Hihirikane via adamantite. It is only because Hihirokana possesses such fantastic properties that such a thing was possible. Zijan's obsession with his exoskeleton was probably because it was the form I had originally created. Otherwise, he could have taken it off long ago and become a complete spiritual life form. I was happy to see that he was taking such good care of it. Besides, Zijan, who specialized in close combat, was strong enough as he was. After all, a complete spiritual life form is meaningless without a physical body. Rather, shouldn't it be said that his current form was the most perfect form? That's right. And now Zijan is the masterpiece that Master and I have created together. Although I left the teaching to Vildora, many of the key points of knowledge were given by me to guide him, so there is no need to worry. Well, basically I don't understand what that means, right? CL's boastful talk continues bursting out, paying no heed to my confusion. Since Zijan dominates the water element, he is incomparably strong whenever water is present. So, because the world's atmosphere is also laden with water, Zijan can use any place on this planet as a battlefield to his advantage. In addition, the majority of living things have bodies mostly made of water. With him being able to control that water, one can understand how dangerous Zijan is. The human body, for example, is about 65% water, so being hostile to Zijan would be suicidal. However, this is only the start of how dangerous Zijan is. Zijan's ultimate skill, Illusion King Mephisto, includes Thought Acceleration, Universal Perception, Demon Lord Hockey, Water and Lightning Domination, Space-Time Manipulation, Multidimensional Barrier, All of Creation, Mental Control, and World of Illusion. There were several dangerous abilities in it, but none of these were the one that had carved the curse into Dino. The name of that technique was Dream's End. In other words, the engraved curse was a technique created by Zijan. This move could even break through Yuki's anti-skill. To fight against it, one would have to have a very strong will, but it would still be very difficult to surpass Zijan. After all, the Dream's End was a combination of three powers: Water and Lightning Domination, Mental Control, and World of Illusion. With World of Illusion, Zijan was able to create situations that were beneficial to him, and he could become practically invincible in such environments. Such skills are called world system skills and are very rare. Even I don't have one, so it's no wonder they're so strong. Would you like me to prepare one? I didn't know how to answer that question, so I'd just pretend I didn't hear it. Anyway, we were talking about the Dream's End. This technique was capable of instantly reaping the life of the target if they behaved in a way that was not in accordance with the caster's will. However, because there were no restrictions on the target's actions, the target could still move fairly freely. In this case, as long as Dino did not disobey Zijan's will, he was allowed to act freely. So, how do you activate the curse? Yes. It's not something I do on my end, but it is triggered automatically the moment Dino takes a certain action. Zijan's curse was an automatic type that required no management. Once it is activated, Zijan, the caster, will be made aware, but otherwise, he will not be conscious of it. And the key to its activation lied in Dino's actions, that is to say, aiming killing intent on my companions. The moment he decided to kill someone, the curse would Dino's core. It was impossible to escape from this curse even if you were a spiritual life form. However, since the key to the curse was limited to Dino's conscious actions, it would not be activated if he aimed for someone he did not know was one of our companions. There was no way for him to know the faces of all the people in our town, so I could not say that it was completely safe. However, since indiscriminate attacks on the town were judged to be murderous, this curse was sufficient to keep Dino at bay. How could Dino, who possessed an ultimate skill, be imposed to such a terrifying restriction? Excellent work, Zijan. Any reduction to a threat is welcome. Thank you for your kind words. Although I am still inexperienced, the joy of Rimuru-sama's praise sends a surge of enthusiasm to my heart. Why so serious? Cherries, Geld, and Saoi were also this way. Beretta too, I think. Thinking about it this way, there were many serious guys in our group, but Geld and Zijan were particularly so. The growth of all these talents was really a threat considering they were not easily satisfied by their efforts. I hope that they would continue to do their best with pride in this manner and not become complacent. Anyway, I now understood that the ultimate skill Illusion King Mephisto was a tremendous skill. It should be impossible for Dino to be released from the curse, but there was no such thing as absolutes in this world, and perhaps it was possible to undo it easily with some unknown power. But even if that happened, Zijan's reputation would not be diminished. In that situation, one could only honestly praise the opponent. Honestly, Zijan was an excellent all-rounder in all aspects. This time, he had taken advantage of Dino's death and used it as an opportunity to perform a move. It was this keen sense of judgment that made Zijan a fearsome opponent. It was not enough to have good skills. Being able to utilize them properly is the real threat. In this respect, there was no one more specialized in combat than Zijan, and no one more suited to his skills than Zijan. The two complemented each other. While many tended to play to their strengths to gain abilities, Zijan eliminated his weaknesses to gain abilities and was skilled and flexible with his skills. Brilliant. There was nothing more to say. With a world of illusion, he could create a situation that was advantageous to him, and the range of tactics would expand more than just by developing your specialty. He was probably one of the best among my subordinates in terms of combat sense and skill level. I was convinced that even fighting races like the Primordials could not defeat Zijan. Zijan, what a terrifying guy. It's no wonder CL calls him the greatest masterpiece. The strength he had shown up until now was only the tip of the iceberg. Even if I say this, I still think it's quite unfair that I can check the status and skills of my subordinates like this. Come to think of it, Zijan's title Mist Lord was given to him to imply mystery, but it also had the meaning of something hazy like fog. What an apt description. It was also a good match in terms of his attributes. Then could it be? Zijan didn't misunderstand my words and said his evolutionary path in that direction, did he? No way. CL would have pointed it out. You'd point it out, right? Of course. No way. The reaction was a bit delayed, and the pause in the beginning made me feel very concerned. That's all for today, hope you guys enjoy it. Please check my other videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification icon. And don't miss any updates. Thank you for watching.